Big deal brands are up to 25% off right now at Designer Shoe Warehouse. You're not going to want to miss this. These brands almost never go on sale. At DSW, we'll give you something to brag about. Like up to 25% off select styles from Adidas, Crocs, Nike, Reebok, and more brands you love. Find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. Save today at your DSW store or DSW.com. DSW, let us surprise you.
Robert watched the show last night nude in bed by himself.
Nude.
I don't want to know what he was doing in the nude in bed, but we'll find out right now on Rulaska Thoughts. Hello, America. And around the world. My name's Joe Batanz, and this is a little show we call Rulaska Thoughts. We're talking about deeper thoughts behind the episode of season 18, episode 14, titled Good Morning, Bitches. I am joined, as always, by the person who I'm so glad does not listen to the show outside of his own show, Mr. Roberto Mata. Hello, Robert.
Who the fuck is Roberto?
I know exactly. I know you're being facetious, but how far from the truth is that?
It's not my name.
Oh, you were born with the name Robert?
Yeah, well, no one's born with any name, girl. But
my name is Robert. Nameless, and the rest is fag.
In my case, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just Robert.
Just Robert, which is going to be the new show now that Robert has told me he's officially saying goodbye to Afterthought.
Girl, you love to come up with lies and falsehoods and fallacies.
So Robert tells me, he goes, I really want to stay with Afterthought. I want to do a show. I'm like, when can you do a show? Never.
That's not what I said.
And I was like, well, that sounds like you're quiet quitting.
I said, I don't know when. And I said that the all-star schedule is difficult to plan around, even in normal times where I have wider open availability.
I think, look. I think the show that you and I need to do now has to be different from Rulaska Thoughts.
You're over it?
Well, look, the shows I'm canceling Big Takeaway. I don't know if I talked about this on the air or off the air.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm going to cancel
I hope that music goes to someone else then.
Oh, you like the music from Big Takeaway?
Yeah, it's so soothing.
I'm canceling Big Takeaway because my original, which the fans might be thankful it wasn't anything like this, but my original intention for Big Takeaway was to be something like Fat Camp. So I know only expensive tier gets Fat Camp, right? And but on Fat Camp, Lori and I ostensibly talk about our weight loss journeys. But if I'm going to be honest with you, about 5 to 10 minutes of the show is us talking about our weight loss journeys. And the rest of the time is literally us just fucking around, doing bits, making jokes, talking about our lives. And I was hoping that that's what Rulaska Thoughts would be. But nope, this fucking bitch wants to show up and talk about the show.
Sorry, I have a brief and
no, about you.
assignment.
About Lori.
Oh, I see.
On Big Takeaway. And then on Rulaska Thoughts, I always felt that, let's be honest. Thank God Nathan doesn't listen to the show. He can't really handle complex thoughts, right? Or discussions.
Don't be rude to my sweet Nathaniel.
He doesn't listen, so he's not going to hear this. And so, I needed a show where I could talk about those deeper issues with someone who can, sort of process that. I will say, in fairness, he's gotten better and at least listens, But that's why the original intent. But now, now that you're riding off into the sunset, what's the point?
Nowadays, I'm usually off work around 4:30.
I think a perfect world is you and I do Bring It to the Runway. The problem is we need to find a third who knows fashion and not Christian. who knows fashion, who can just not offend the entire audience and can speak in fashion terms. It's very a very difficult job to find. You know?
I mean, I don't mind bring it to the runway. Obviously, that's how I got my start on Afterthought, by Christian just crash landing into my phone one day and saying, "Bitch, come record this podcast with me, bitch." And I was like, okay. And as you can tell, we were just, I've never gone back to listen to those early episodes because he knew that I had encyclopedic knowledge of this shit.
Oh.
So I'm able to quickly like reference, oh, well, this look was done similarly in this episode in this previous season. And then I don't mean this in a snooty way, but I think I have a wider pool of cultural references. So I'm able to, see that is what is going into the look. Whereas he would come in by saying, oh, that's Scapiarelli fall 2010. I'm like, girl, who, what? We came in with different
and
knowledge
by the way,
bases.
This isn't just for Christian. This is for anybody I hear say this, unless it's a person who's like, unless it's Anna Wintour. I'm always dubious whenever they say that. I'm always like, is it though? I feel
like it is. And I think it's less difficult than you think it is.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I feel there's really only like 3 or 4 people. You're going to hear Alexander McQueen. Who's that one that they're always fucking mentioning? The French guy?
Vivian Westwood, but
there's that French guy they're always mentioning.
Lagerfeld?
No. Oh, what the fuck is his name?
Are you talking about Thierry Mugler?
Yeah, Thierry Mugler.
Is he French?
I'm assuming he's French. Thierry Mugler, right?
Yes, you'll get Aris Van Herpen. I don't know why I did that accent for it, because I don't think she's any of whatever that accent could have been. But
maybe this is fashion in general. I'm talking about RuPaul's Drag Race. I haven't heard, but maybe I don't pay attention. I don't know.
There are a few years where the girls were really trying to emulate Iris Van Herpen, several at runways over and over.
So, like, there's only a few. I get it. I guess you have to memorize those looks and themes, But
it's no different from you and Taylor the Latte Boy or Nathan being able to spout off specific SNL quotes from like 20 years ago. Did I say quotes? I meant skits.
And you're being very funny when you mean like 40 years ago.
I mean, whenever. You do the Reddit thing where you just randomly talk up Chris Farley like he's God's gift to Earth.
Oh, I don't think Chris Farley's God's gift to Earth. More like Phil Hartman. But I think really what you're talking about, I can do that stuff. Here's where I can do that stuff. Not with you're talking about Taylor, who will fucking mention a 1980s pop diva who had one hit in 1983, right?
And I'd love to hear it.
But with me, this is where it's useless. Is like Magic, or like,
what was that just giggle you did?
I just think Magic is so stupid. I just think it is literally the stupidest thing ever. And I think it's so lame, And so I think it's so funny, right? That I think the word is funny. I think everything about Magic is so funny. So funny. Even like when people, and this, when people take, when I take people to the Magic Castle and they like think it's the most amazing place ever. And that's what makes me happy. But for the most part, I think the Magic Castle is very silly.
Well, yes.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't think it's silly.
I think that's silly.
Yeah. I think
when we take my friend in a couple weeks, she's going to have a fabulous time.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a good time. It's a good time. But I still think the place is silly. Right?
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of people...
I think Drag Race is silly. I think my job is silly. I think my friends are silly. I think my relationship is silly. I think the burrito I get down the street is silly. I think everything's silly. That's the point.
All right, why don't we do this? We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we are going to actually talk about the themes in the episode. We're going to hear Robert's, hot takes on things. And we're going to go from there. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
There's no one like you, and there never will be.
From the producer of Bohemian Rhapsody, there are many legends, but there is only one. Michael, rated PG-13, in theaters April 24.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
And we're back. I just realized right now that, we're coming up on the end of the season. Like I just told you, Big Takeaway is not coming back. RulaskaThoughts is not coming back. You are going to come back. I'm not going to let you Adam Salandra this place, but we have to figure out what it's going to be.
Cool. I'm down with that.
Oh, I thought of a show. When Nathan's doing Drag Race Recap, this is one show. I'm going to call the show RMZ. And it could be Rumor Mill Zone or Robert Mata Zone, however you want to call it, right? And it's going to be me and you talking about the latest rumors. And I'm going to wear a really tight shirt. And I'm going to just kind of like lean in a little bit in my chair. And I'm going to be like, we are getting some really disturbing news that Vanjie has yet again not shown up to a gig. Now, our sources are telling us that she was booked at Bottoms Up in Fort Lauderdale and just did not show up. And we have our people looking into it. And then, you know what else I'm going to do is I'm going to put out an alert, an APB, for like when there's another COVID, whenever they spot drag queens in like Puerto Vallarta or doing gigs when they're not supposed to. And we'll publish it on the RMZ. Anyway, so Robert,
I think it's
we
a conflict
had
of interest.
What?
I think that'd be a conflict of interest. I can't participate in such frivolities.
Don't
girl,
say things where you're gonna have me come and fucking edit this goddamn show.
You were the one who was going off.
Yeah, you didn't, but you don't have to comment. Did I say anything wrong?
No sé.
By the way, the other day, so Robert wants to take a friend to work. I mean, he doesn't want to take a friend to work. He wants to take a friend to that Magic Castle. And I'm all for it. Yeah, let's do it, right?
Sounds like
fun.
it.
So I call the Magic Castle. I get an update. And I'm like, oh, next time you can talk. In fact, I just realized, why didn't we talk about this off the air? But we can talk about it after the show. And Robert's like, I can't take personal calls at work. And I was like, no one was asking you to. I was just saying when you can talk.
No. Oh my God, you maudlin fucking man. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. One Mississippi, two Mississippi.
I would call because I think there's a weird rule, but I want to clarify this rule. I think if we go after 9, but I just want to walk in, but I want to clarify that rule. So even if they're like, we're sold out for walk-ins, I think there's a weird rule that I'm going to call and clarify this afternoon.
Yeah.
I say, okie dokie, thank you. And then you text back, I have an update on the Magic Castle. It's fairly good news. We can talk later, but go ahead and plant it in your book. I think this is assuming you can't talk because you're really busy at your cool job. To which I said, well, I'm at my desk, but probably not too smart to take personal calls quite yet. And then you said, no problem, I'm on my way to something anyway. So who's the snippy snipster there?
I think I said don't call me now. I said, you're busy at your cool job.
You know there's no need to say that.
Anyway. So, Robert Mata, episode 14. If you have a lot of thoughts on this, I'm going to be very shocked.
I truly don't, actually. I think Lori covered some notes that I wanted to just say. I think you and the Darlene Mitchell white mediocrity note is a pretty relevant one, I think, just given the scope of the season and where we're at looking at the top three. But I don't have a ton of things. I kind of like scrambling at the beginning to be like, I say like a lot lately. What could be mined from this? It was so strange to have RuPaul be in the place where Raja O'Hara was during Canada versus the World Season 2, where she's pretending to paint and then presents an AI drawing of Nini Coco looking like fucking Bach for some reason. And then I was having fun just trying to figure out what the rest of them looked like. And really the only one I got was that Darlene Mitchell's looked like Acid Betty.
Who was the one that sewed something on the stage?
Raja O'Hara as well in the talent show, All Star 6, episode 1.
Well, look at you. Well, let's talk before, because as I promised on the show, because I think there are, let's be honest, mostly white people who are sick of me talking about, white privilege and this and that. And I don't think the opinion is what they think it is, but okay, I'll save it for the end as promised. But one of the things I want to mention is I'm now seeing a lot of the discourse online, specifically or very particularly after Jane was eliminated, which shows you that the zeitgeist of Drag Race fandom is so stupid, right? But there's now a strong contingent that thinks the season is horrible now. It's gone. It's awful. This is terrible. This season a horrible season, right?
The people are mad.
They're very angry. And what I want to get to, I'm not going to give any sort of credence to one way or the other, because somebody recently talked to me and they're like, oh, you must hate the show. Or I'm like, no, I don't. I'm so completely, I think I do use this word more than I use excoriate. I'm completely agnostic about this show, right? I use agnostic way more than I use excoriate. Anyway. But I'm completely agnostic. Like, literally, the show means nothing to me. I don't give a shit, right? In a good way. If that makes any sense. And but every season, this has gone on since literally we started, We'll get these comments in the beginning like, oh, you just hate the show. You just hate the show. You just hate the show. And then the season progresses. And they never say, oh, you were right. No, they'll never say that. But they'll say, oh, this was not a good season. Or later in retrospect, after the season passes, season 13 or something like that, they'll be like, oh, you hate, that was a horrible season. Everyone agrees, right? But no one ever says, oh, they called it or anything like that, right?
Do you need that validation?
I don't need the validation, but what I'm saying is every season there's a group of people who say, we just hate the show. But I remember having very positive feelings towards season 15. Is that the one Sasha Colby was on?
Yeah.
I remember having very positive feelings. In fact, I think on the whole, we've been fairly more positive than negative since around season 15. I don't even think this is a bad season. And so, but it is seem like the tide is turning on this season. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that.
I have two thoughts on it. One, that I don't think it's a bad season either, because it's not uncomfortable to watch. No. I don't have a distaste for any of the queens the way that like Lucy LaDuca was souring the well or poisoning the well on season 15 for me. Q, I could not stand on season 16.
You're right. Very good point.
I was not into Sam Starr for 17. Like, there's usually that like one queen Dawn, that I'm just like, who?
Dawn, that horrible person.
I look like your standard Brooklyn, Oakland, Silver Lake queer person. Like, yeah, they can be annoying, but she didn't really get under my skin. No,
remember
much.
she did something really nasty. I don't remember what it was. It was sort of subtle. I can't remember what it was. I have to go back and listen to my own show. But I remember I don't like people who are inconsistent. I like consistency in opinions, right? And so there was something about her that she like double crossed somebody or like changed her opinion or like was kind of fair weather. I don't remember how so, and I just remember that left a bad taste in my mouth. But go ahead.
Oh, I remember her in confessionals always saying something shady and then giggling to herself and being like, "Oh my god, did I say that?"
Yeah,
it was like very irritating Tinkerbell vibes. But so pretty much most seasons,
And also,
there's always
don't
one.
start in OnlyFans and all you do is pose in your underwear. Sorry, go ahead.
If there's money to be made, there's money to be made. Why are you mad?
Just saying. Thank God I never paid for it.
Yeah, why would you have done it anyway? But nonetheless,
Sometimes I like girls.
Skinny white twink, I guess.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm not going to get into it, but you know what you and I talked about before the show. We know your type. Your type is you.
That's not true because I am tall and the men I'm into are short.
Let me tell you this. When I told Lori and I showed them, I didn't say anything. I go, look at this person that Robert was, into. And she goes, isn't that Robert? And I go, no.
He's better looking than I am.
If you guys only knew, that's all I'm going to say. Go ahead, Robert.
Most seasons have someone who is actively making it somewhat unpleasant to watch, at least in the brief moments that they're on screen. I didn't really have any beef specifically with any girls this season, except I really was not into Sierra Mist. So when I saw her face show up during the next week preview, I was like, oh God, what bullshit is she about to talk about? Yeah. But I'll get through that because she got cut pretty early in the season. So I have some goodwill for it.
And let's be honest, she's not making it far in this.
Yeah.
Granted, I probably would have said the same thing about Megami, but whatever. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, Megami was such a little Eeyore, but nonetheless.
No, you're making a good point, but go ahead.
There were several points during this season in which I said, there isn't a winner in this bunch, regrettably. So it has not been great, spectacular television, but I'm not grinding my teeth. I'm not having to put it on being like, ugh, here's another Candy Muse confessional. It's been smooth sailing, just not fantastic. So I enjoy the season for that. My second point is that I have really disliked the takes that I've seen online in which, I don't know if it's younger people saying it, older people saying it, or just smarmy people saying it. They're like, everyone's been clamoring for a season of older folks, and now we get a season, and it's no drama, lukewarm, ability and talent, and just not interesting. So we should never do a season of older queens again. Mind you, everyone currently, I think except for Darlene, is under 30. Yeah. So that assessment really doesn't hold water because they knocked out all the older queens mid-season. Mm-hmm. And granted, those were my favorites, but whatever. The girls who are left, they're all perfectly lovely, serviceable, fine. Middle outs in any fantastic season, let's be real. But it is what it is.
I think the show... Oh God, you've made a lot of really good points. I will say in terms of casting, and I don't know when this started or when it ended, to be honest with you, but I feel like the show has gotten a little lazy. And what I mean is, I feel there was a time, and I don't know when this stopped, that the producers, or I don't know what level producers, but some people from the crew, from the people who do the show, would go out and actively kind of scout girls, And I think maybe because they have so many submissions, they just don't need to do that anymore, And I feel if they did scout girls, they would find. I think we need Tammy Browns and Jasmine Masters, and who's the one with the shoe?
Well, Darlene Mitchell is the one with the shoe.
The one
she
that
gets
started
her way.
Shoe company. Don't try it, little boy.
Tamisha
Iman. We need to find. See, that's a good example of an older queen who was even older than she said she was in the show. Who brought the drama, who brought that old school drag stuff, right? And was a hot mess.
And that's why I said we need a full season of Athena Dion's, because you get that much energy, old school diva energy in the room. Something's bound to pop
Well, the other thing with Athena Dion, if we look deeper at this, is, they put Athena Dion and Vita Von T Star and Mia, who's, whatever. But Athena was still the oldest and still very matronly, so there was a level of respect. You need people who have the same experience level as Athena Dion, so that she's just a peer, and then that's when the drama appears. You know, you need the people who like, Alyssa and Coco competed against each other. You know, Roxy had been in the pageant scene forever. You know, all those people, they're all on the same level. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Well, I mean, that is a part of what made season 5 so spectacular, is that you kind of felt like you were seeing a friend group with history who were started around the same time, like really duke it out. Jinx comes in as the outsider, and really no one talks about like the first, 7-8 outs of season 5. Like it was super lopsided of a season. And there's no way, respectfully, that like Monica Beverly Hills was ever going to be anywhere near the top 5 of that season.
Well, I've said this before. You know, season 5 and season 6 are often recommended as starting points, but those two seasons are very different. I feel like season 5 is very later season heavy. And what I mean, and I think you hit the nail on the head right here, is that like the first half or so of season 5 is okay, right? It's fine. It's good, but it gets really good towards the end. I feel season 6 is the opposite. I feel season 6 from the beginning up until probably till when Ben de la Creme goes home is just first rate, and then it just sort of just peters out to the end, But I don't know if you agree or disagree on that. But
yeah, season 6 has a stronger cast the whole way through, for sure. Obviously, Magnolia was not going to go far either, nor do I think she wanted to. But I mean, like, if in early outs, someone like Gia Gunn, who's obviously good television, no matter how awful a person she is otherwise, like, come on. And obviously, Milk, for all her annoying behavior on All Stars 3 in season 6, was groundbreaking for what the show could present. So there's these early outs had a lot of impact in season 6.
Oh, for 100%. But going back to what we were talking about is this late season, this season's terrible. I think it always happens every season. And look, I'm saying it right now in season 18. Season 19, we're going to start the show and they're going to be like, oh, you hate the show, blah, 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 blah. Because the truth of the matter is, the people who are the loudest saying this, and this is what happened with Jane, is when their pet queen isn't liked.
This is your pet theory. You stand by this theory.
You don't agree?
I don't know that I've seen real evidence of it. I think there might be some Goomba theory impact going on there, where some people are saying one thing and other people are saying the opposite thing, and mentally you associate them all as the same person saying conflicting things.
Oh, I mean, that's 100% true. Now let's move on to the next point. So trigger warning, okay? I'm going to be talking about, I guess, white privilege. It's not really what it is. And let me preface this with saying, and I said this a little bit on the big takeaway, but I want to really emphasize this here. What I'm talking about has nothing to do with Darlene Mitchell, even though Darlene Mitchell is the person we're using. She's the avatar, so to speak. I do think Darlene Mitchell is very charming. She seems like a very genuinely sweet and nice and good person. I think her drag is better than I thought it would be. I think it's fun. I think it's like, there's nothing wrong with her, right?
No.
But I also don't think there's anything special about her. So what I'm really talking about is not her, and it's not to excoriate her.
Say it, girl.
It's really about us. It's really about us. It's really about how our point of view is the result of essentially brainwashing by the media on what is good and bad. And RuPaul is being the arbiter of that on this show. And as I said before, we know she likes a tall white man, right? And what's wrong?
That thing, I just love how you always bring it to who Ru married.
No, not just who Ru married, but like, there was somebody else I remember on a talk show. She thought, oh, that man is so sexy. I remember it was another super tall white guy. Like, I don't know, like Tommy Toon or something like that, right? And
who the fuck is that?
Anybody who knows what I'm talking about, it's so comic. I know it's not Tommy Toon, but when I think of like super awkwardly tall white men, I think of Tommy Toon. Okay.
I'm envisioning Gumby.
Girl's not far, right? Tommy Toon was this, he's still alive, but obviously not active. He was this Broadway star. Again, another one of those categories is like, why, right? He is like so incredibly tall, so incredibly homosexual, and was like a big Broadway star. All right.
Okay.
So anyway, what I'm really commenting on is how we respond to Darlene Mitchell. And I want to reference this. I know there's a problem that they've talked about in legal and criminal circles where, most judges are white men, right? And there's this problem they've been trying to wrestle with where, like, you'll have a young black kid accused of the same crime. Let's just say it's like some sort of mischief, and the black kid will get the book thrown at him. But a white boy, what happens is these judges, they tend to be middle-aged, they're, and they have children who are around the same age. And when they see a young white boy do the same thing, they get this sympathy in their heart all of a sudden because they can imagine it's either their child or their child's friend, and they know they're good kids. And so the white kid will often get a much lighter sentence. Reminds me of that. Didn't that initially happen with that Stanford kid? I think that's where it came up.
Oh, you're talking about Brock Turner?
Brock Turner. I think he initially got, or maybe he still did, got a light sentence, correct?
Yeah, that was why there was so much outcry.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I think the judge in that case even said something to the effect of, I have a son that age, I know, blah, 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 da, 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 right?
He's an upstanding young man.
Yes,
blah, blah,
and you don't want to ruin his future.
I worked
and
on
like that.
legal shows where even I'll notice that the judge is saying things where it'll be a clean-cut white boy,
Yeah.
and she'll be like, "You look like a good kid."
Yeah.
I'll grant you leniency. But I don't think I've ever heard that statement levied at a person of color.
Yeah, and to take it...
I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just saying that it's something that I've seen.
To extend that is, I've said this before jokingly, right? But it's true, right? That when I, my heart breaks when I see a twink cry, right? And
What about doves?
doves, no. I just know what they sound like. And so, but if it's some fat Mexican guy crying, I'm like, ugh, okay, me, right? Get out of
BGG
here.
on that.
I don't feel sorry for it. And I don't feel sorry for them. So what I'm saying is there's something about Darlene Mitchell. You've talked about this before, but she's in a different camp, I think. But like, where like she's almost like the gay equivalent of like the manic pixie dream girl. I don't know what that would be called because she's not a manic pixie dream boy.
Strangely, I'd say like Dawn is the gay equivalent of a manic pixie dream.
Well, yeah,
girl.
but in a manic pixie dream boy. But what is like Darlene Mitchell's her own category? And what I mean is the quirky, must be protected at all costs, lovable white person.
The cinnamon roll. Or
Yes,
cinnamon
the
bun,
cinnamon roll.
One of them.
And my question to you, Robert, is why? Because I don't think she's done poorly on this season. I really don't. But I couldn't tell you a thing she did before 2 or 3 episodes ago. And I said Kenya Pleaser because that was just visually speaking an opposite. But like a lot of the queens on this show, how was her run any different? Like what has she done that's remarkable? But yet even Nathan was telling me yesterday on the phone, and he wants her to win. Why?
I mean, like I said, I don't think there's anyone who's really gunning for the winner position. So at this point, it's kind of, throw caution to the wind, crown whoever, then we'll move on. And if I think I said this a few weeks ago, so apologies for repeating myself. If the promo doesn't matter, does it not? I don't know. But the central thesis there was bring light into a dark world, and Darlene Mitchell with her 1,000-watt smile that girl never closes her mouth. She's just grinning, cheesing it 24/7 with bright eyes. She's endearing in that way. But I think the truth is you can't remember anything that she's done apart from act a silly goose, because she hasn't done anything but act a silly goose. She has never followed the line or the letter of what the challenge has indicated for the queens to do. She just kind of stumbles through it and laughs at herself, and RuPaul responds to that, and the audience seemingly as well. I like the girl.
I like
none
her.
of that stands out.
Yes, I agree. I like her. You know what it reminds me of? I brought this up before. I think it's season 5 or somewhere around that, of this American Idol. Okay. And this guy, Taylor Hicks. Okay.
Sounds familiar.
Taylor Hicks was this guy on American Idol, and he was only like 20 nothing, right? But he looked like a 45-year-old man, right? And for some reason, there was something about him that America was charmed by him. And he won the whole fucking competition. Beat out this Catherine McPhee, all this shit, right? And that might have even been the season. Was Jennifer Hudson on that season? I'm not sure, right?
I didn't watch that show.
So, no, I think she might have been in season 3. But the point is, beat out a lot of people, right? Won the whole thing. Never heard from this guy again. Same thing with the year that Adam Lambert won. Went up against this guy, super cute guy. America loved him. No personality. He's probably a better example because he's closer to Darlene. The guy that beat Adam Lambert, super cute guy, zero personality. America projected all their hopes and dreams onto him, and he won the whole thing. I haven't heard from that guy ever again. Meanwhile, this Adam Lambert's all over the place, right?
Sounds like a bunch of county fair winners.
Yeah. I wonder whatever happened to that guy that beat Adam Lambert. Anyway. And it's like, in the moment, it makes sense. But I feel like Darlene would be like the equivalent of The Artist. Remember The Artist? The movie that everyone like, oh my God, and it won the Oscar for Best Picture because of a silent movie. And now everyone's like, whoever goes back to rewatch The Artist? And I like Darlene. And I liked The Artist. Right?
Darlene's a fabulous miscongeniality.
Yes. Darlene is a fabulous miscongeniality. But what you're saying right now, I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head. Because you said in all this darkness there's light, and that could be a good reason for her to win, especially since, they still film the multiple endings, right? So what the talk online could very much affect this show is there was something that happened this season. I don't remember what it was. Remember I went on a whole rant about how this show was filmed right after Trump was inaugurated?
Sure.
And so this could be a reaction to that. You're right. That Darlene must have been such a nice, positive thing while they're filming the show in the darkness that is post-inaugural Donald Trump, and benefited from that. And maybe it is time to have someone like Darlene Mitchell win, because what it would ultimately show, and then we go into a postmodern RuPaul's Drag Race, is that ultimately the challenges don't matter, track records don't matter, and track record never matter, I don't think. But like the challenges don't matter because she hasn't been good at a challenge, has she?
No, not in the way that we would expect a queen to be good at a challenge.
Because here's the deal. Mikey would have won this week regardless of who she was paired up with. Okay? If Darlene and Juicy were together, it's not like Darlene would have cared. You know what? They even say this on the show. That Mikey did this so that, Darlene could shine. They say that on the judging panel. And so, she won this challenge, but because of Mikey Meeks. And then what was the other one she won? Oh, that stupid roast? Yeah, because she did something funny, right?
She said banana.
Right?
Because I guess people didn't get enough of that 2 seasons ago.
Yes. So, and people might not like to hear this. They'll hear this now and they'll be like, Darlene Mitchell's the greatest thing. But what I'm saying is, if she wins and if she deserves to win, and regardless of how her track record is, regardless of the challenge, regardless of anything, well then not to be nihilistic about it, well, what's the point of the whole fucking show?
Entertainment week to week.
It is, and you know what to say. What to go with what you said. To go with what you said is you're right. This was a very entertaining show to watch this season. I was never, and trust me, girls, there have been seasons and episodes where I'm like, I can't believe I have to sit through this fucking horrible episode. And sometimes even in good seasons, towards the end, like where we are now, I'm like, can we just get this done with? I am so done with this. I haven't.
We're gonna say that next week, though.
I don't mind Lollapalooza.
They're very uninspiring to me.
Well, no, I don't mind it. I don't have to do it. Work is hard. So, but it's been a fun season.
Yeah, I do think they have a misfire at the end here. Instead of doing, look, of course we could innovate on the concept of Drag Race. Instead of doing the music video challenge the way Juicy wanted it, or doing some kind of other capstone final competitive episode challenge, they instead kind of decided to do like an All-Stars 1 team challenge, where I think they were hoping the girls were so bonded to each other that when a team inevitably landed in the bottom 2 and had to lip sync together, they would get another Dancing on My Own moment.
Yeah,
And just like they weren't really giving that, and the song also did not really support that kind of emotionality. And it again, a misfire, because it was just so strange for them to duplicate a challenge that they've done a couple times in the past for this final capstone. And really, who got the most screen time this episode? I'm pretty sure it's that Zane Phillips guy.
Oh,
so
you must have been so thirsty when you were watching this nude in your bed last night.
I was not watching it nude in my bed. I don't hang out in my bed nude. That's weird. My ass cheeks up on the blanket for what? But also, as you know, never mind.
I know what you're saying. That's why I said it.
I'm not going to say it. Yeah.
Why do you think I say half the things I say? I think half the things I say
who knows, girl?
are inside jokes for people.
How must I fathom? Anyway, he really is that like electric and giggly and golden retriever in person. I don't know why he didn't have that energy in the Snatch game.
I think that was a much more restrictive situation.
Sure.
You know.
True.
Any other big thoughts on this episode?
Well, I think Mikey Minx getting an extended confessional about her Pokemon evolution should at least be noted by the person who, for some reason, keeps mentioning Pokemon, even though this isn't a Pokemon podcast. I thought it was awkward and weird and strange. And I think we have kind of talked about Darlene this week as if it's a foregone conclusion that she's going to win. But I think with this opinion that I'm about to say kind of underlines anyone who might win in the end. But I think Willow Pill will not be the least impressive winner after all this is said and done.
I'll say this, and I want to say this on the record. I actually don't think Darlene's going to win. I actually think it's Mikey Meeks. But it seems like everything's pointing towards there because everyone's like, oh, but the vote. The vote rarely. I mean, I think we looked at, I think a lot of times, like if the vote mattered, Kim Chi would have won. You know?
Oh, God. No. I could not understand how people thought that she should have won back then. It was so weird to me.
So ultimately what I'm saying is, look, here's the deal. Everyone's bitching. If Jane Doe would have been on this episode, she would have fucking crushed it. She would have won again. And everyone's like, well, we know where this is going. And she probably would have won the whole season. Right? But that's not where we are. Jane will be fine. Lori seemed incredulous, but I do think they were like, we'll let Juicy go at this stage so you can win the stupid Lollapalooza.
True.
By the way, this show is getting so cheap, by the way. Did you see that next, the Lollapalooza is all RuPaul songs?
Ugh.
They're not even paying out for songs.
Is that your response to Trinity?
I don't mind that song.
That song is too much.
There's a lot of songs that are like, you're like, are you like, it's
obviously
your
there's one that's worse.
Trinity. Don't forget.
We're all stars.
I think about Lady Boy.
No, I'm talking about Tranny Chaser.
Oh, Tranny Chaser.
I feel uncomfortable even saying it, but that is the title.
I'm telling you right now, and I don't think everybody agrees with me. I would bet everything I have that RuPaul says nasty, foul shit in private.
Oh, no doubt. Who are you kidding me?
I know what I'm saying. Everyone agrees with me, but like, yeah, she's saying horrible things. She's using the R word, the T word, all N word, I'm sure, right? But
She wants Nini Coco to say the N word.
oh, she wants it so badly, you know? And so she's saying all the words that start with a letter in her private life.
Probably. Well, good for her, I guess, or not good for her. I don't know. But that said, and this is just related to the RuPaul music, I do hope there's a lip sync to If I Dream, because that song is camp as fuck, and I miss it.
Again, I will say, you can't beat the Lucian Piani era music.
See,
yeah, go ahead.
well, we were talking about how much we were groaning at the show being cheap and not having RuPaul songs, and look at how quickly we launched into a analysis of the good RuPaul songs.
Well, because Lucian Piani was camp, right? So, like, I think he thinks his songs are art, right? And they were just he can write a very hummable tune. I'll give him that. Because I'm even thinking back to the CoverGirl video. Remember in the CoverGirl video when they have him as like the supposed hot trade?
He was kind of cute.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You can't even talk Jose Patonce.
¿Por qué?
Because I said.
But talk about what?
Look at your history, your dating history.
I was gonna say that. Look, of course, like a lot of white guys, like literally Aiden would be the avatar for a white person, but they don't look like me, Robert. There's a gay on TikTok. There's a gay on TikTok who, so people know who I'm talking about. I haven't seen him in a long time. It used to be this thing he did where his girlfriend is from her POV. She's picking him up in her car and she's playing loud gay music like Gaga or something like that, or Chaperone or whoever. And when he comes out, he hears it and he just starts doing like gay go-go boy dances, right?
Mm-hmm.
And really good body, twink, right? He looks so much like me in high school that I'm disturbed. I'm not attracted.
Send it to me.
I'll have to find him. I am not attracted at all. Like, it literally is me in high school. Okay? You would see that if it was, and you would be like, oh, get me his number.
I'm taking your joking about that as validation, because I definitely did not think I was attractive probably until around like 18, 19. So
you're that old? Go ahead.
I guess that means that working on my confidence has worked. Cool. I'll take it.
Wait. Don't do this bullshit.
I'm being honest. You just don't believe it because you think if someone's conventionally attractive, life is easy for them.
Use your face card to get into Drag Race, the Vegas show.
It was a joke I made exactly one time, and I have heard so much about it since.
I don't think you were joking.
I've never, ever, ever, like, come on. Like, when I was a kid, I was definitely that kid who couldn't ask for fucking ketchup from the McDonald's worker, So I'm not going to stomp up to a place and bat my eyelashes and hope I get into a place for free just because I look the way I do. That's weird. I'll pay him for my ticket.
What do you have going on next week? Well, you just work a lot now.
Week? I do. I mean, like I said, 6:30 call time, 5 days a week.
How's the drive?
Shoot days. So in the morning, it's great because it's just me in the road for 25-ish minutes. And then I'm at the beach. Then I'm pretty much near the beach. So I wake up to the sun's rising. I wake up. I get out of my car to the sun rising. It's the smell of the beach in the morning. It's good. And then it's about 50 minutes, 55 minutes coming home. And it's not too bad. again, check it with me in like a month and maybe I'll feel differently. But at least as of right now, it's been a good time to like call family members and friends back who I've been meaning to reach out to.
And catch up on your Afterthought media?
Yeah, for sure. I have done that as well.
What shows?
The Tea, myself, even Just Between Us Girls.
Oh, do you not usually listen to Just Between Us Girls?
When I have time, I will. But now it's like, oh, well, now I'm on the road.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Ford, Senior Awards Correspondent at Vanity Fair and co-host of Little Gold Men. Oscar season is upon us. Little Gold Men takes you behind the scenes of the race for the biggest prize in Hollywood.
There's 100 wrestlers in the room, but only one can be Oscar nominated.
Whether you're a movie lover or an industry buff, Little Gold Men from Vanity Fair has everything you need to know about this year's Oscar race. Follow and listen to Little Gold Men wherever you get your podcasts.